Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. You'll have to excuse me or something. I can't really talk that well this morning. But for today, our running lab speed graph. This is for at-home students only. In-person students are going to be doing this in person on paper. So this is only for at-home students only. So go ahead, click Open Assignment with Kami. It'll bring you to the assignment. If you haven't used it in a while, it might ask you to sign into your school Google account again. If you're someone who does not have this button, you don't have Open Assignment with Kami, just go ahead and click on the PDF, that right there. Open up a new tab and type in kamiapp.com. Then it's going to ask you to sign in with your school Google account. Mine was already signed in, but just click sign in. It'll have you go through sign in with your school Google account. And then you have two options. Actually, maybe just one. Open from computer. And you'll just find that download that you just did. So the 2020 Running Lab, you can see that's what we're looking for there. And so you can do it that way. So that's if you don't have that Open Assignment with Kami button. But if you do, please do that. And so it says directions, open yesterday's data table, use a slideshow in today's daily assignment to help you set up the graph parts, plot your information from the data table, connect the dots. So, again, click here. This is yesterday's assignment, the running lab. Again, only if you were doing this at home. And this is where you put all of your running lab data. So if you are someone who was able to get to a baseball field, you have your times here, and then hopefully you already calculated your speed. If you were not able to get to a baseball field, these are times I gave you, and then you should also, again, calculate speed if you haven't already. So you're going to be using this data right here. And then use the slideshow in today's assignment to help you set up the graph parts. So open up today's slideshow, and you're going to scroll down all the way to this part where it's talking about let's create our graph. So just walk through each step on what it asks you to do. Some you already have, like axes. You guys already have axes on here, which is nice, but like this first one says, put your name and hour in the top corner. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to use the text tool. I can make it as big or as small as I want, and I can choose any color I want. I'm going to go with purple. So over here, I'm going to type Miss Coleman, hour, we'll say 1. And then also, I'm going to move this down here. You can change where it sits. So I'm going to do it on that side. Okay, so that's thing number 1. 2, a title. It says, what is a title that makes sense and tells us what the graph is about? So I'm just going to come up with a random title. I've decided, so I'll click a new spot. Then I'm going to make a larger font. And I decided my title is going to be Running the Bases Speed Graph. And I can click and drag it to be more centered. So I have my title, and your title can really be anything you want. Next, axes. You guys already have axes on there, your X and Y axis. Then intervals, it says we'll come back on this one. And then labeled axes. So Y is independent, X is independent, which is time, which is distance. If you remember from the lesson today, it'll know which one is which, but you guys are lucky. You can just kind of flip to the next one and see we have distance and time. So you're going to, again, use a text tool. I think I'm going to make it, click off it. If I start changing stuff, it'll change that one. I'm going to bring it down to like 14. I'm going to use black for this. I'm going to go down here. I have time. Don't forget my units in seconds at the bottom. And then I'm going to add another one over here. I have distance in feet over here. And then I'm going to put it like that. I know that some students have figured out how to rotate it, but I honestly, that looks like a rotate button, or is that just a rotate button? Okay, well, there, that was easy. There we go. Okay, so distance in feet right there. Next, scale of axes. So look for data for the distance. It needs to start at 0 and go up to 240 feet. So this is where we're going to go back to our data over here. So our distance is 60 feet, 120, 180, 240. So we need to get up to that 240 feet. Now, for graphs, when we're trying to figure out how much we should go up by, whether we go up by 1s, 2s, 5s, 13s, whatever it might be, we're going to go back here and we're actually going to count how many lines are going up our graph here. So, let's see. I am just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we'll count 14 up here. So I'm going to actually write this over here. So I have 14 lines. And then I need to get to 240 feet. And actually, to figure out what a good interval or what the max interval you need is, if you take 240 divided by 14, let me find my calculator here. So I'm going to do 240 divided by 14. I end up with 17.1, meaning that if I wanted to get exactly 240, I would have to go 0, 17.1, 34.2, so on and so forth, but that's not easy to count by. So I'm going to round up. You can't round down, like you can't go down to 15, because then you won't reach 240. So I'm going to round up to, say, 20. So I'm going to round that up to 20, meaning that I need to, well, first I need a 0, and then I need to add 20, and then 40. This one will just take a second just to do. But I'm going to do that all the way up. And you're going to put it on the lines because the lines is where the numbers are. Okay, so you would keep doing that. 60, so on and so forth. And again, if you put it in between, then you don't know which line is 60. So you want it on the line so we know that this is the 60 line. So you're going to go up all the way up to, I guess to 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220, 240. So this would be our 240 mark right here. She'll do all those numbers. All right. Next, we need times. You need to add your numbers for time there. She'll do the exact same thing, except for now, you look at your time. So if you're using My Data Equals This, you need to get up to at least 27.3. If you use your own time, and add numbers that way. And then last thing, you need to plot your data points. So you definitely need, and I'm going to use the circle tool for this. So I'm going to put a point right there. So I need a 0, 0 point, and then say, these are my next points here. There's not numbers here to guide me, but you know what I'm saying. So I have all of my points here, and then I also need to connect them. So I'm going to connect them with my line tool. And there you go. That is what we're doing. If you have any questions, please come to office hours today, and I can help you out there. Bye.